Hello everybody, this is Paul KOSTIAL with the CURREY KOSTIAL marketing team, and I want to tell you today what not to do. And the what not to do is don't get your website hacked, and I'm going to walk you through the agonies of woes of that real quickly. Just as a quick introduction, my name is Paul KOSTIAL. I've been in sales and marketing for 30-something years. I was formerly with Time Incorporated for 17 years before starting my own companies about 13 years ago. And my companies include, just as a couple of examples, some direct marketing platforms like AudienceInnovation.com and BlazinConnect.com, which are magazine cover wrap programs, but they're also interactive touch points for a client to reach their best customers and their prospects. Audience Innovation is for the little bit larger companies, and Blazin is for a little bit smaller companies like real estate agents, banking, financial advisors, insurance agents, etc. We also operate several online platforms like Zentastic Living, meaning social media platforms, where we have about 15,000 followers on Facebook alone. And then we've got We Love Arabian Horses, which has about 10,000 followers globally. And then, of course, KOSTIAL CURREY. So that's a little about who I am. And I just wanted to tell you today the story about kind of this ugly mess. So we just started noticing our primary website with weird things kept popping up randomly. Little odd things you'd barely notice, but we noticed. It's our website, so we would notice when weird things didn't seem to be in the proper place. We'd go check it out, but in our website, it wasn't there. So it was just odd. We called GoDaddy, who was our host provider at that time, and they said nothing's wrong. Well, these odd things just kept getting weirder and weirder. So we called GoDaddy back again, and essentially we begged them to take an in-depth look at our site and the file structure and what could be causing all of this. We had saved some screen images to share with them so they had something to see these issues. And at that point, they began a little bit more helpful review. And all this started in July of 2018. So come to find out, we had been hacked. It was a Chinese company that was illegally selling in the United States NFL, MLB, and NBA logo jerseys. They were also selling Chinese women for dating. Yep, really. And they were selling a test-taking service for students in China to mask as you and take your test for you. So all this doesn't sound so good. Well, so then GoDaddy started our removal process. All these files, which the company that was parked inside our website was using, I mean, it was good files to them. That was their websites, but they were bad files to us. All their images, all their everything, it was parked inside of our site. And unless you even knew where to look, you'd never see or know it was there. It was only because those weird things popped up that we thought something might be odd. They were essentially hiding their website inside our site for the goal of marketing themselves, so it looked like they were a US-based company and therefore not detected selling these illegal products here in the USA. It was awful. So one by one, this arduous task of the removals was started, and several times GoDaddy had told us everything has been removed, and well, we kept finding more and more and more. So this repeated multiple times over and over and again, and GoDaddy just wasn't really doing much to clean the site, even though they were charging us for their cleaning service that they provide. So this went on for months and months and months. So what's the key learning points here? One, GoDaddy is hack attempted often. Since they're so huge, hackers can more easily find holes in their system to attack and find portals of entry. And GoDaddy isn't exactly the best at their own security features, which allow this to happen more often. So they got two things. One, their own security features, and two, the volume of customers they have mean they host millions and millions of websites. So the hacker is just looking for one to be a point of entry that they can use. Also, secondarily, and we use WordPress for a couple of our sites, there's a lot of plugins. Well, you got to keep those plugins up to date, always, quickly. You should pay for the plugin, and if they offer it, you should pay for the premium service. It is going to be so much cheaper in the long run than to not have the advanced security issues that are offered by the paid service and the premium. So literally, I'm on a service inside of my now domain that sends me an email anytime one of my plugins is not updated to the current one. So literally the minute it updates, I get an email and one of my assistants will go and make sure that we've updated that plugin instantaneously. So the hacker, as in our case, often has a reason for staying invisible. But many times the hacker has other reasons for hacking, of which it's hard to understand and hard to fathom. I guess they hack for fun. I don't really know. But in our case, the hacker intentionally wanted to be invisible. So essentially, we moved everything to SiteGround. SiteGround is a much smaller serving hosting service, even though they have millions of clients. Also, they're far less targeted by hackers because they're smaller. They have higher security features. We've had zero problems since being with them, which is now coming on a year. And they're also far more responsive via their online chat and other support options, and we've never been happier, really. I loved GoDaddy for many years, but when this happened, I lost a lot of respect for them. So yes, the shift of all of our sites and all of our emails was arduous, but at that point, we really had no choice. It was arduous, but it was the best move we could make to fix this problem, and we've been smooth ever since. So the moral of the story is don't use GoDaddy. Seriously, it's just not good. So to avoid part of this problem or any of this problem moving forward, start thinking now about getting your site shifted to a place like SiteGround. I'm going to give you a link here in this post. So GoDaddy is a volume producer, and they have those cute little ads and things. When the rubber hit the road and we needed some help, they could have kind of cared less. It kind of looked like they were helping, but they really weren't helping, and we went round and around and around with them for months. So we shifted the server options to SiteGround, and it's an entirely different experience, and also, by the way, it happens to be a lot less expensive. So that's good news too. So as a side note to all of that, because they were parking their website inside of our website, they were also using our IP and other domain indicators to send out their spam emails, selling millions and millions of jerseys and whatnot via millions of emails, blah, blah. That was looking like it was our website. So we discovered that as we made this move, that our emails were spamming out, as the hacker could care less about their spam rating because they were really affecting our spam rating, right? And they were hiding under our domain. Their spam traffic was causing us to look like we were the spammer. So this was another painful addition to the mess, and we had been totally unaware. And by the way, GoDaddy never even checked this, nor did they ever mention this in the entire process. It was only after we moved to SiteGround that we figured that out. So I would say if you move or when you move, with SiteGround, they do have good email, but really only if you're going to have a small number of emails. If you're going to have anywhere more than, I would say, 10 email addresses, you probably ought to get a separate, more advanced email provider. And we chose to set our email, because we have about 150 emails, we set them all up under Gmail, and they're masked to look like our email address, like paul.kostal@audienceinnovation.com. Works way better. Gmail is way fantastic, and it's been a great option to have the combination of email and Gmail and our site and all of our domain and everything else hosted there at SiteGround. So it was far more reliable. It was easy to do. You just set up your domains and your sites in SiteGround, and then you use your SMTP, IMAP, and email settings to connect with Gmail, and it's masked to look as the company, as I mentioned, and we've had zero spam issues thus far. So we had to first tell the companies that think we're spamming that we're not spamming, and then we had to start not looking like we're spamming to keep that rating, so that you can understand the layers of complication here. So let's take a look at SiteGround. And if you're a smaller company, the SiteGround option for chat is fantastic. So they're literally there 24/7, 365 days a year. They're there to help via live chat. It's fantastic. They are very smart. They know what they're doing. If they don't, they're going to get you to an escalated ticket to the right person, and you will get an email notification of the escalation response. It's way easier, and as I said, it's also cheaper. So sorry to GoDaddy, but I can never recommend you again. It's like a relationship that went bad. We just need to move along. So SiteGround is just one option, of course, although we've spoken with many domain experts and server experts and hosting experts and our different providers, and most every single one of them likes and recommends SiteGround also. When you go to SiteGround, make the decision up front about whether you need a dedicated server or not. We did not do that, and we don't need one. But if you do need a dedicated server, it's best to set up a dedicated server right from the get-go rather than starting on a shared server and then shifting to a dedicated later. It's just one less headache. So that's the end of this. Let me show you real quick our SiteGround account So when you log into SiteGround, you're going to come here to home, and I'd already gone to my accounts. Here's my cPanel, which I'll show you in a minute. And then these are our 3 primary sites right here, and these are all of our different hosted domains, right? So this is all the different stuff that we have all set up now with SiteGround. And then I'm going to go to the cPanel just to show you just a wink here at the, this is all their domain services. This is all their auto installers. Like if you wanted to install a WordPress site, they will do it through an automator for you, and it works so well. So WordPress tools, Joomla tools, all the email options if you want, etc., etc. So you've got all your assets right here on this primary cPanel homepage. And I just think, this is a way better situation. I wished I had known long before we gotten hacked about the problems that would ensue with GoDaddy, and I wish I'd made that move then. Anyway, over and out today from Paul Kostal. If you have any questions, you can email me at paul.kostal@audienceinnovation.com or hello@curreykostal.com, and we look forward to staying in touch. If you have any problems, you can also private message me, and I sure look forward to it, and I hope this helped.